So Kim, when Heather says, that
Good evening, Litchfield. Welcome to the July 14th, 2025 Board of Selectmen's meeting. The board is just coming out of a quick paperwork review. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Not just a few.
As I said at the beginning, we just came out of a paperwork review. We'll start with the review and approval of consent items. In the consent folder, there was in consent was the AP manifest for July 1st for $2,205,170.67.
Yikes.
Yep. Yeah. That's too many zeros and stuff on me. July 8th for $310,525.55. July 15th for $61,724.23. Payroll manifest for July 3rd for $63,311.56. July 10th for $65,841.31. And then July 17th for $65,321.32. In addition, we have the fraud policy that was reviewed and amended on June 23rd and approved. Do I have any motion to accept?
So made. Oh, go ahead, give it to Kim. I'll second it.
So, all right, motion made by Mrs. Queen and seconded by
Choose first.
Mr. Larry. Any other
It's quicker
discussion
than I am.
or anything else? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries 4-0-0. Request for other business or any other items be added to the agenda for tonight.
I saw an email, right, on that, come in late. Did I see something that had to be added?
So, I mean, I have two to be added, so one is the,
Is it the good afternoon? I remember seeing it. Give me a second.
I don't remember seeing that one.
I saw it, but I don't remember where. Where did you put it, Kim? Is it on the portal?
No.
Is it an email?
I think she's talking about the email I just sent out, which is the item you're going.
Oh,
to
yeah, I
discuss.
have, yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, so, I'll do the two and you can guys see if you want to have more. So I'd like to make a motion, so, if you want to have more, so add to the agenda for tonight, a brief discussion around the reevaluation and some of the feedback and some of the current status of all that. That'll cut us, that's one of the emails was just sent out. If I can get a second.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded, all approve? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0-0. The second item I'd like to add is just a clerical error on our side. We need to reappoint Michael Croto to the Lower River Management Committee. He served on that committee in the past, so we would like to take that up for today if we can too. Second.
second,
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Our motion carries 4-0-0. So those two items be added to the agenda. Was there anything else, Kim? Anything else you thought?
No, I just saw that come in
Okay.
this
Yeah,
afternoon.
I asked Kim to share that with everybody, so everybody had it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, public input will occur no earlier than 6:45 PM. First up in the business agenda will be approval of minutes for June 23rd. Everybody had a chance to review? Any changes,
I had
modifications?
two.
Okay.
My usual, right? And thank you, you made me sound beautiful, by the way, some of those. Motion 3, the vote was 4-1-0, and I was the one who said no. You have that there. If you could just add a note after that it was based on my understanding of the impact fee law. That's why I said no. I knew they needed it, but I didn't think that funding, okay? So again, based on her understanding of how impact fees are to be used, if you could do that. And then the only other one would be page 8. So that one was on page 3 for the vote, the third vote. There was the vote 401 on page 8 when we were talking about the software. And it's correct, if you could just so it's consistent with all the other votes, if you could put third vote. On page 8, when we were, and it's correct, if you could put J. Says yes and no. That's.
Yes.
Thank you, you did a great job.
What's that?
Oh,
God.
page 4, under town hall hours, there's the second paragraph. The last sentence says there was also discussion about crediting the hourly employees with 2 hours, so they would only lose 8 hours. It was employees, not just hourly employees, it was employees.
Okay. So do we have a motion to accept the minutes based on the amendments?
So made.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Plansky beat you.
Oh, okay.
So a motion made by Mr. Leary, seconded by Ms. Plansky. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 4-0-0. All right, on to the non-public minutes. Non-public minutes from 6/26/2025, unsealed.
That was the Friday night meeting, right?
6/26 would have been,
Oh, sorry, it's the 23rd.
It should be the 27th, right?
It should be the
no,
23rd.
23rd.
It's the 23rd.
Yeah.
Sorry about.
Okay.
Yeah, it
The
was
date
non-
on the minutes is correct. The date in the comment on the left is correct.
Okay.
The date on the minutes is correct.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So made.
Motion made by Mr. Leary. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Queenan. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0-0. All right, next up is proposed roadway improvements by Renee, but Renee's not here, right? So we'll table that one.
He said he was all set with the town. We already gave him the approval, like a couple of months ago. Remember they came before us?
So.
Requested the meeting,
this
that's why
is-
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Is that the sidewalk
Because-
meeting though?
Yeah, it's a sidewalk, who's maintaining the sidewalk.
So this is
No, it's
different.
more than that. This is more than that.
No,
Those
this
are
is different then.
changes.
So he came in to see me,
Yep.
last week.
Mhm.
This is about the stormwater.
Mhm.
So they received a letter back from the state, DES on their AOT permit. And there's some questions about who's going to monitor the stormwater infrastructure on the property. My understanding is that they're working something up with Attorney Hollis, but I haven't seen that yet. There were changes made to the ordinance that govern stormwater infrastructure. Those passed at the last town meeting. We sent those over to Attorney Hollis. So it could be that they're just reviewing those. I did not hear from them today.
I saw him Friday, and he said that he thought everything was all set, that Morgan Hollis told him that everything was set. They're just crossing some Ts and dotting some Is.
I can reach back out
Mhm.
tomorrow, but
All right. Well, he asked for it to be on the agenda on Friday. We confirmed, but just didn't
Yeah.
send us the details.
So it
behind
sounds like he saw Bob after.
Yeah, potentially, so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll just table it for now and we'll go from there.
I'll have him call you tomorrow, Kim.
okay, thank you.
Look at us moving right along.
Hmm?
Look at us moving right along.
Yeah, next topic. Next up will be the approval of the invoice for TD Earth Tech for $15,562.84. So Kevin, Mr. Brown, our road agent's here. And just as a side note, I think, we kind of asked Kevin to come in and talk about this PO, but also some future work that potentially is coming up that's kind of unexpected. Just get the board an update on all that stuff, so.
So first, I'd like to apologize for it coming in backwards. You know what I mean? When it comes to underground, we can't see what's happening. They start digging, we know there's an issue, they start digging, it grows and it grows. And then, something we thought might be a $5,000 bill ends up being a $15,000 bill. And that's kind of what happened with that one. We just had some work done again down on Mayflower, and that was a barrel block catch basin built 43, 45 years ago. I have pictures I can share with everybody, of the before and the after and all that. But our infrastructure in the south end is starting to suffer. We spoke of this before at a meeting before about, Nesson-Keg area in Chemo. And right now, we're in the works of getting quotes to replace the piping on Nesson-Keg Chemo. And as we work through our GIS and our appraisal of all of our infrastructure, we'll probably find more stuff that needs work. We had concrete pipe down the Mayflower area, but we have barrel block catch basins, so some more basins down there might have to be replaced at some point. Of course, because of funding, we'll probably do them as they come up, but we might have to talk about it sometime about having a infrastructure fund, to kind of cover some of this stuff, because as of right now, I'm out of money, for that type of work. I have nothing left to, if something goes bad right now, we're going to be kind of scrambling. That's about it. Galvanized pipe down on Nesson-Keg, it's 24-inch galvanized pipe, and it's rotting out. 50 years later, it's rotting out. The majority of the town is cinder, is concrete. We are using some plastic now for repairs because it's cheaper, it's quicker, it's easier. Which that has a very long lifespan too. But we're going to have to start looking at the older areas in town, inspecting them, cameraing them, and that's going to be time consuming, it's going to be costly. Just bringing it up that when I ask, that we talked about it.
More expensive if the road collapses, right?
Then
More expensive if the road collapses.
oh, without a doubt, and that's what the one on Nesson-Keg, that was. I'll show you a picture of that. There was a hole in the guy's driveway, right dead center. Most of the time, if it's off to the yard, you can cover it. Like on Chemo, we covered one. So the top of the pipe is rotted, and it's still running, it's still working. It just, it's a hazard, but it's in the right of way, and it's, and we have it covered. So stuff like that's gonna have to wait till next year, and unless it gets real bad.
Where was Nesson-Keg on the plan, on the actual paving plan?
Something, it's on the plan. I don't have it with me.
I had Kim put on a portal, so.
Would you like?
Do you have the CIP? See, I have a new CIP paving plan. So last year's paving plan, the 2024 CIP plan, it should show it there somewhere, because that section of Nesson-Keg is on the higher end from Albuquerque to, say, Mallard. No, not quite to Mallard, but about there. And that's kind of what Kim and I were talking about this afternoon, that if we do the piping on that, luckily the piping is off the road. It's not in the road, but there are some crosses. Maybe we can do the asphalt at the same time and just make it one project. I'll be straight out with you. My intent is to come to you with a warrant for another $200,000 to get that repair money back, the road repair money back. We've basically leveled and shimmed and top coated most of the roads that we can. Now we have a lot of roads that need to be milled or completely regraded, down to base. So we're going to need more money. $200,000 doesn't go very far when you're talking about a Talent Road, a Pearson, or one of the larger roads that has some length. So we're going to have to look into that.
Good.
Now, with the 200,000 you were talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, we were doing that before.
Yes.
And we stopped during COVID because we just needed
And
to
that
keep
would,
lights on,
I'll
keep it
present
going.
that, I'll present that to CIP.
Right.
August 4th, I'm going in front of CIP. We get $200,000, approximately 209, 198 from the state, from the meals and taxes, fuel taxes. And who knows what's going to happen with that? That could potentially be decreased because of the state budget. We used to have a $200,000 warrant every year, and the selectmen at the time decided to remove that when they built the fire station to kind of take the tax burden off the people, which understandable. But now is the time, and I apologize, everybody. I know with the the revaluation and everything, it's a tough time. But we need to take care of our infrastructure. We need to take care of our roads. If we let it fall back too far, and then we're going to be reconstructing every road. We're not going to just be able to top roads, and you know what I mean. We're going to do a lot more work. It's going to cost a lot more money.
My understanding too was it was removed because of the fire station. Its intent was to put it back on, but then COVID happened and they didn't put
Yeah.
it back on. But the intent was to put it back on at some point in time.
And,
Because
and the problem with that, it's gonna be a shock to everybody. Everybody's gonna look at it and be like, oh, shit, another $200,000, and that might, the tax impact, 26 cents, whatever it is, it's gonna hurt a little bit, but it's something that we've always done, and we can't rely on it. I mean, if you look at our budget, you look at the highway budget, $10,000 is raised from taxes for road maintenance. You know what I mean? That's all our citizens are paying is $10,000 for road, for asphalt maintenance. Not catch basin and all that stuff, we have separate lines, but for actual road, paving.
So that fund that you had, that was $200,000 every year?
Yeah.
You usually spent most of that down?
You always did.
We would spend it on the roads, right?
Spent it every-
It would go
yeah,
right down,
but every
yeah.
year it was
Spend it
spent
right
down.
down. Yeah,
So
so,
it's been 5 years, so where have we been paying for that money for all those repairs?
we've only been doing $200,000 worth. We've been skimping by, and I've been basically doing
We
top
doubled it,
coats.
that's where Warren came from. So we were trying, at the time it was established, we were so far behind on the road maintenance, we had to figure out how to get ahead of the schedule, because we had roads that were, so the board started doing the 200,000 addition in a warrant, it got approved, it was put in the budget and that kind of thing. And then we had, we had the impact fees we get, or the, what do you call it, the road fund.
State aid, yeah.
Yeah, state aid thing. We get that, so it's kind of matching it and helping us get further along.
So,
But we're
if you look at,
out with this.
if you look at my CIP, my 6-year plan, I go out to 2029. I go even further because we have that ability. I'm putting anywhere from $330,000 to $400,000 on the CIP plan yearly. Hoping, someday we can get some money, or we got some COVID money at one point where we got caught up a little bit. But I put out approximately $400,000 worth of road work, so 6 to 8 roads, reconstruction done. And then I get 200, and then we cut it back, and that everything gets pushed back.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now you're talking really like a 12, 14-year plan instead of a 9-year plan. But we need more money for roads. We need to invest more money to keep the infrastructure in a
We
good.
won't be going for any trucks or anything like that this
I'm
year?
gonna go, yeah.
No trucks, right?
Oh, no, I don't, part of the CIP, I'm gonna show you what my fleet looks like.
More employees?
I'm sorry.
More employees?
I don't think we're gonna do employee this year. I'd like a new employee, but I just don't think it would pass. But we definitely, I will be showing my vehicles on the CIP plan in age-wise, mile-wise, how long they should be on the road. I've got 3 that should be swapped out right now. I've got one that's a 2000, I got one that's a 2012, I got a 2015, I got a 2009.
Plus
You know what I
the one
mean?
had to take off the road.
I had to take the 2000 off the road for now and to see the end of the year if I have enough money to repair it, whether it's worth repairing. You're talking $3,000, $4,000 worth of repair, power steering pump, oil pan, the rust on the frame. It's a 2000, it's 25 years old.
But what was the one that we got you with the grant?
We got a Western Star, that's a heavy truck. And we got a CV, which is a medium truck with through warrant.
So when you come in with those, because I don't know, and probably most of the people at home don't know, a big visual of what you have, what they look
yeah,
like,
no,
everything would be great.
We
It would be
have,
helpful for
we have
me.
3 size trucks. We got small, medium, and large.
Yeah, it just like, look, this is it.
Sure.
It would be helpful for the people at home and
Sure,
for us when
absolutely.
we're making decisions.
The more information they have, the better off.
It would be good for me.
But,
Thank
yeah,
you.
so, I mean, it's mostly a small, one large truck and 2 of the smaller trucks are in dire need. So that's something we need to look at. It's, if we don't have the trucks ourselves, then we're gonna hire out contractors, which is gonna be more money in the long run. So,
You need more money.
any more money?
We all need more.
So we have to, we have to approve the PO or for the invoice for TDD, right, for 15,000?
Yes, please.
Okay.
That's the one
And the next one, which is for 9, it's within your.
It's within our
It
budget.
is within.
I didn't see a PO in the consent.
No, Karen
You already
held
took care of
off.
Okay.
We wanted to make sure that it was acceptable with the board.
Well, it has to be.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like,
We didn't have a choice.
no, let the whole
But
stay
if
there.
it is, she'll
That's
attach.
a good plan, though. You spend the money and then come and tell us we gotta.
Well-
It certainly, it wasn't my intent. I'll be honest with you. In that one there, we didn't know how far back we were gonna have to go. I was kinda hoping we'd go into his driveway and find 2 good pieces of pipe and connect in and be out of there.
Yeah.
But we ended up going back 80 feet total, and then there was side pipe, because every single house on that road drains into the system. There's
Sump
sump
pumps.
pumps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that was a whole nother connection we had to make. And it brought that price up. And the same with the one on Mayflower. We thought it was just just a regular barrel block, catch basin. And once he got the catch basin, the barrel block out, it was a 3-foot slab of concrete, which they built the thing on. So that had to come out to get the new basin in. And it just took more time. It's, 2 machines, and you know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's one of those things, like if I had x-ray vision, I could see it and say, this is what it's gonna cost, but, there's no guarantee.
So when this was added to the agenda, or added as a topic, I raised the flag, and I happened to talk to Kevin about it, because I said the same thing. Why are you doing it this way? You have an opportunity to come to us. But he came in a month earlier, or talked about the same road, didn't know the scope of it. They got into it, they had to fix it, they couldn't close it up, so he had to spend the money to fix it, and there was no time to come back to us.
I couldn't dig it out and go, okay, stop.
Yeah, stop, I know.
You know what I mean?
Fill it back in, we'll get it back to it later.
Right,
So, because I personally didn't like the whole emergency procedure thing. That to me was like a whole road collapse, not something
Well,
we.
I mean, it
but I
was-
realized what it was all about.
It wasn't an emergency, but it is important.
It is.
Once you get into it, though, you've gotta fix it, too.
And I'll show you the picture of the guy's driveway. If it was your driveway, you'd be out of your mind.
drove by it, so
I mean,
it's-
there's a hole right dead center in the middle of his driveway. And he was very good about it. And we did put a plate across it for about a week to get by. And then, getting a contractor in, how it is getting a contractor in. I called and, I'll be there Tuesday, and Tuesday comes around and now it's gonna be Thursday, and, it kind of just.
And then they did it
And then when you get him there, you're like, okay, get it done.
Done before the
you know.
4th, too, so.
But I definitely think we're gonna need to look into, doing the piping and, the catch basin repairs on Nesson when we do the construction of the road. I mean, right now, we have one more section on Chemo that comes out to Nesson that has a hole. Basically it's in the right of way, but it's in their front yard, so it's not really interfering with their driveways or anything, so I can barricade that off for now. If it starts to open and it starts to take road, then we're gonna have to jump on it and figure something out.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion, I'll make a motion to approve the invoice 2025343 from TDD Earth Tech, Inc. in the amount of $15,562.84 for the repair of the stormwater infrastructure on Nesson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Plansky. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 400.
Thank you.
Go play with your dirt. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
At this point, I would like to open the floor for public input at 6:53. Any members of the public like to come and speak? If so, please approach and just say name and address and speak away.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Paul Mallory. I live at 367 Charles Bancroft Highway. And I wanted to talk about the reassessment. I saw the sign there that says members of the public are welcome to express their concerns or comments.
Yes.
So I'm just exercising that right. I'm certainly not here expecting a whole lot to be done, but I'm merely just exercising that right. And I'd like to speak about the optics and how I see things in relation to the reassessment. As I see it, things aren't done to 100% levels of accuracy or acceptance in our town. Heck, nothing is perfect. Examples that I see are 100% of the proposed amendments or ballot initiatives don't often make the cut. 100% of our cruisers don't seem to be working, as there always seems to be one or two parked at Edwards Auto. Our town-sponsored recycling and transfer station is certainly not 100% free. People's voices of discontent on a project or a new development don't result in townspeople getting their way 100% of the time. Proposed buildings or stations don't always receive 100% of the votes they need to warrant building it. 100% of the speeders don't get ticketed. Heck, 100% of our roads aren't plowed as fast as we'd like them to. Some might say that we receive far less for our taxes than other municipalities, but that's probably not even 100%. So you see, there are many instances where we accept less than what we want. Now, I ask that you compare against those less than 100% results with our tax assessment and reassessment that the town has contracted a firm, and that is their stated goal in their letter. They want to do that. A firm with a 1.7 star rating has told us in a letter that their goal is 100% accuracy to make assessments equal to market value. In a real estate market with inflationary pressures that nobody can control and we're all forced to abide by, I just wonder if the powers that be will have 100% determination in reducing our values should a downturn occur. When we, the taxpayers and townspeople, have little say and are told that's just the way it is, feel not listened to or ignored no matter our pleadings or rebuttals, we are left to feel some small, very small measure of the taxation without representation that perhaps the colonists felt back at the Boston Tea Party. I understand that I have a limited amount of time. My time may be close to being up. I thank you, and I only ask that instead of taking, some legislatures have taken victory laps on removing vehicle inspections, which will save us tens of dollars. I would like to see our representatives do more and to see more concrete and, in fact, granite actions to prevent us from paying thousands. Our state's motto that is readily quoted is live free or die. As taxes and fees have shown us since the time that was made, only one of those has a 100% chance of happening. And it's not the live free part. That's it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Paul.
That was very good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Sir? No? Okay, not seeing anybody else approach the table, I will close public input at 6:57 PM.
You can't top that anyways.
Yeah, right?
No, I can't, and
Very well done.
a lot of good, yeah. We're gonna have a conversation about this down the road, so we'll bring it up too, but,
Down the road tonight.
tonight, we're having a conversation tonight about it.
I should say that the other reason I'm here is because I reached out to Selectman Brunel and sent him an email, and he said, "You are more than welcome to attend this meeting," which I did. My wife can't believe it, but I did.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very
I
much.
think we all appreciate that you came.
I think it's important for the public, the residents of town, to come to this meeting and share their opinions and what they believe is happening or not happening. We've dealt with a lot of conversations on social media about what's going on, a lot of misinformation put out there. The whole reevaluation process is complex in some respects, and we do have to contract it out, and it takes 5 years to do it, right? And every 5 years, we have this reassessment that occurs, and everyone panics because it's sometimes a big number, sometimes it's not, but we'll get into it a little bit. If you're gonna hang out, we'll be talking about it towards the end of the meeting. All right, let's pick up on the agenda we left off. So this is a brief brought up, this is gonna be the finance HR software upgrade. So we talked about it a couple weeks back, you folks approved the first half of it. I said it'd come back once I was able to confirm a bunch of stuff, and talk to the vendor to make sure where we're at. So a couple things that I learned. The vendor, as I told you, they're not supporting the current software package we have. That's one of the reasons why we have to kind of make that first step. But I also found out the vendor is now being overrun by every municipality in town, in the state, to move over to them. So now we're in a backlog, right? But that being said, we'd like to still proceed forward and potentially add on to this project the financial package. And from talking to the vendor, that package will help us integrate the two platforms together, which today, everything we do today is such a manual push. It's got people involved, there's that kind of stuff. But additionally, it provides us an HR package that we don't have. An ability to kind of do better time tracking, better things like that as part of that project.
Do we have that, all that information, that what it does? Because we didn't have that last time. Do we have that now?
I can definitely get you the presentation and share it with you all again, yes. Let's just clear this so I can look at it. Yep.
How do the numbers line up with what we had budgeted?
So it doesn't line up very well. So what we currently budget, it never
Wrong
does.
answer.
It's twice, that's why
Yeah. So we currently pay for our BMSI package, which is the current package we're running today, $65.96. $6,596. Now, when you look at the yearly subscription for the package we already approved, is it here?
63.
it's right.
63, it's right,
It's the
it's
same.
very equivalent, yeah,
Yeah.
it's equivalent. Now, mind you, payroll has to come up, payroll's part of it and all that, so all consolidates into that. So, yeah, as I said last time, we're gonna be expending twice as much in the financial side than we had in the past.
But what we were gonna get was what it did that the other didn't do, and was it
We
gonna
don't-
reduce the price of the payroll program?
No, it's the same price coming across.
So it's another 1,500 for payroll program on top
No,
of this?
it's, the payroll, which is included, in all this, is 63. We don't have the payroll module in here in this list, do we? We're currently paying for the payroll?
I believe it is the second line.
No, that's the old version. That's not the online version.
That's what we paid in this year's budget.
If we're
But the
doubling,
the payroll is in the HR
Correct,
hub. So we have to purchase the HR hub
correct.
in order to have the payroll and the new system that links to the New Hampshire retirement.
Yeah, so the challenge is, we're currently on what they call their interim solution that we moved over to. We migrated over to that. It's a cloud solution today. It was the first one we moved over. That is going to be sunsetted also. So we have to move one way or the other. Will we do it initially or do it after the fact? It's gonna happen within the year. So we're kind of, like I said, last time, we're stuck in a rock and a hard place.
But you're gonna get a better return on investment, we don't have a number for in your labor costs, right? It's gonna streamline the process and
It
the
should,
time,
yeah.
right?
So
streamline the process of what, though?
So payroll data entry, so payroll entry will become
Dual
more
entry.
automatic. It won't, so Heather won't have to be taking, an example, taking all the timesheets, pushing all that, it'll all get put in, enter, because we'll be able to use an online timesheet if we want to. And or set it up so it's automatically without the entry.
And so that module, to do that, is 1933?
It's
BMSI payroll,
it's part of
B.
the finance hub, yeah. I'm sorry, it's part of the HR hub. Yep, 6,300.
Which, is that what you've got broken out here, though, the BMSI fund accounting?
Oh, you're looking at what's on the notes on this page?
I am, yeah, I'm looking at what you guys put in the portal.
Yeah, this breaks down our current cost today, yes.
yes, that's the current.
Which comes into 6596 roughly, I guess.
Okay, so this payroll is already gonna be part of the 6,300.
No, it's another module on top of it. We'd still be paying for payroll outside if we don't move over to the hub.
Yeah, this isn't what I thought I was gonna see.
All right, we'll table it.
No,
We'll
no,
go-
no, that's-
We'll go
it-
back,
I
because I
mean,
just
you're
got the
already-
contract on Friday, I think it was, so.
Yeah, what I wanna know is for double what we're paying right now, it's double, more than double, right? For double what we're paying right now, what is going to be improved in human resources? I know you mentioned a couple of things like employees, would they be able to look at their last paycheck? That didn't turn me on all that much. I didn't know if that was worth
Well,
it.
that's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know what else is part of the package.
Well, I would, go ahead, Kim.
I can explain out loud. So currently, we process payroll every week.
Okay, I get the payroll, but
and
what
so-
else does it do besides payroll?
Well, you can't have it without it, that's the thing.
Right, I
Yeah.
understand that, but what else?
But I think it's important for the board to know what a process this is. So we're talking about employees filling out handwritten time sheets, those time sheets coming to me spending time approving all the hours, them going to Heather inputting them into a system, then them coming back to me so that I can approve the edit, then them going to Karen so Karen can approve the edit. Now, these are all things not that necessarily that we want to do, but our auditors, our financial auditors will require them. That process, probably 3 hours every Monday morning, will be automated by this new system. So employees can, input their time into the system, it'll go to Heather. That's an important part. The other important part is New Hampshire retirement. New Hampshire retirement is very strict in the process that goes from every municipality to them. It has to be automated, it has to be according to their infrastructure specifications. And so BMSI, now G-Works, has worked very hard to get all the specifications from New Hampshire retirement and meet them so that we'll be able to transmit
How are we
those
doing it now?
files.
How are we doing it now?
Now we're doing it with a system that BMSI
gonna
will be retiring
So,
because it was a patch.
yeah, so that was a patch. So
Right.
what I didn't understand the last time was that the HR included payroll. We thought it was separate.
That's right.
It includes payroll. So the current system is gonna go away within the year also. They're gonna sunset it because they don't wanna be supporting two different systems. That's where, and this system's what's being invested. The HR hub, we've already approved the finance piece, that we all agreed that's okay. The HR hub is the one we're asking because we need to replace payroll. This is gonna give you, online tracking, which means people are gonna be able to sign in and click the clock, start, fill the time slot, time sheets, all online, so there's no paper passing back and forth. Today, people sign it, and we have to send it in, and then it gets looked at, reevaluated, and then gets data entered in. All the data will already be entered in once it's approved. It'll go through a workflow, it'll go through the department head who has to approve it, they approve it, then the next person has to approve it, and then it goes into payroll, automatic. They do get access to all their data, as far as their payroll history and all that stuff. Some people think that's important, some people may not. It also deals with all the benefits associated, like earn time and all that. It'll calculate all that stuff ourselves. It'll calculate all that. Employees will be able to request it through the time card without having to go ask, and it'll get approved by the manager, and there's no more paper. So it's gonna remove a lot of paper. And it's gonna be removing a lot of data entry. That's the benefit. But like I said, from talking to the vendor and finding out what's going on with the current platform, they said, with the long lead times, we need to do, the best thing is for the towns to go into it together, obviously, because they're interconnected, which makes sense. And then, we'll be faced with this problem at the end of next year if we don't do something now. Now, the cost doesn't start, none of the cost starts until we actually migrate over. The only cost that will come up with us, the only cost we have to pay in advance is the, onboarding fee, which is, I think it was $1,500 a pop or something like that, which we already approved once.
It was all done electronically, you don't have to walk paper around to get signatures, dual entry,
Right.
making mistakes, because somebody transposed a number, right?
Right.
It just goes, yep, it's in your inbox, now you fix it, right? Next, it goes automatically, it's all electronic now.
Yeah.
So it's time and accuracy and
And we
audit.
can't just get that. We can't just get that, you get the whole, that's,
Yeah, it's all part of the HR hub. Right. So all the employee records get put in there and all the history, all the data we keep, that currently right now is in either paper form or scanned and put into a folder somewhere.
And all the manual approvals, all the time-consuming things, that's not dictated, that's all dictated by audit. I
Yes.
mean, that's all, our financial auditors will require all these manual things to be done because we're not doing it on a system. So,
Now, I think when we approved the other piece, the assumption was we'd be pulling it out of the technical fund, my IT budget, fund. But right now, we don't have to come up with any money to next year. So this would be put into the following year's budget. Any startup costs will definitely take out of the technology fund that we have, because I don't think we have it in the budget to do startups. But we want to put this stuff in the actual budget itself, as we predicted, so, assuming we're gonna migrate over to that.
Can you still use your same laptops and everything? Do you have to upgrade?
Nope, everything's the same, yeah. Yeah, there's no infrastructure issues. The only infrastructure cost would be is if we actually wanted to put physical time clocks anywhere, where someone could physically check in and check out, but most of it can be done online with an app.
You don't have the fingerprinting?
Yeah, we do that too, like hospitals do, yeah.
Joking. All right. What's getting sunsetted? I mean, it's going away.
That's
right?
why we did the finance though, because that was the part that was getting sunsetted.
Yeah, well, now we're finding out payrolls being sunsetted too, so.
Okay.
I'm kind of glad I was able to get in touch with them and find out the history around it and understand that part of it.
How much were we paying for payroll for that patch? Was that included in the other 6,700 and now they're breaking it out?
Yeah, I guess, see, I feel like this is missing the payroll cost. Because this one here is the version 11, which is the archive version of payroll on local. I don't think this costs.
Because there might have been a cost that you paid when you
I may
did
have-
that upgrade. That's the initial cost that, I think you're right, Karen, yeah.
And I don't think we've actually seen a cost of the whole full thing yet. So we don't know
No,
what that's
so-
gonna be.
63, probably at least 3, so.
But when we went into budgets this year,
Mhm.
what did we budget for the payroll?
It was probably a lump sum money for BMS.
It's a lump sum
It's
for
lump
the
sum.
whole system.
Okay. I'm done. I don't know what to say, but, okay.
So what are you going to do with your 3 hours of saved time?
The 5 other piles on my desk.
I know, I say the files, like mine.
And it is, it's understandable, the financial auditors are asking for more and more approvals and so it's gotten quite time consuming using the old software that doesn't hold the same financial controls that new software does.
So do you want to bring it up for a vote then?
Yeah, I obviously can't make the motion or vote on it, but, I mean, I'd like to see us, at least, because like I said, the actual cost will go into the following budget. It's not gonna be in this year's budget. And
Yeah, but you need to approve it.
you need to approve to proceed with the project to replace both. I would suggest the proposal is to negate what happened at the last meeting and just to approve the acquisition of the finance hub and the finance hub and HR hub.
Why do you have to do that? They're separate, right?
Well, I think we could do that, but the problem is the last motion we made was take the fund out of the Technology Communications Trust Fund, but we're not gonna have to do that because we won't incur any costs in 2025. The only cost we'll incur in 2025 will be the startup cost, which I'm still happy to take care of that as part of that, other trust fund, but so we can just negate that and just, the motion could be to authorize the town to move forward with the replacement of our existing finance and payroll systems with the G-Works Finance Hub and HR Hub as described. And the cost will be,
One time would be 3,000.
yeah, one time we'll take care of
The
that.
annual budget would go up to 13,260.
Thank you. So like I said, I can't make the motion, so someone here has to make the motion if you want to proceed, or we just table it and we get further and further in the wait line, which is the unfortunate part.
So what was going to be the cutover? You would need time?
So the cutover now wouldn't happen until probably 4 to 5 months into next year. We can't do a clean cutover. The hope was we could get in the list and get on now.
Mhm.
But after talking to them, they have a backlog of
Right.
trying to bring all these communities over. So all the communities are all doing the same thing. They're all going, oh God, we have a problem.
So that's a good time to cut over, right? Work through elections, right?
Yeah, it would be, the budget would be in
Yes, you'd
place,
wanna
we'd be
be
running in
done.
parallel anyway, we would do that anyways as science.
You'd want to be done, W-2s, you'd
Right,
want
it's
to be
not
done.
at budget
all the-
year end, we're going
Yeah.
You'd wanna be
crazy,
done
and they're
all
trying to
that,
cut you
yes.
over.
Yep, so
Okay.
this would benefit you next year and more so than this year end.
Yeah, and this would allow, again, I would assume like we did last time, we would run parallel books, just to make sure there's no issues. And then we just, at the end of the year, we'd close out both systems and not go back on the other system. And that's what the company has said to me, they're going, because of the backlog, they're trying to do everything they can to keep the system running, but what they don't know is what the state's gonna throw at them at the end of the year, as far as new reports or anything like that, and if they're gonna be able to meet those requirements, which is an interesting comment, because every year they do, so.
So it could cost us more if they can't. Okay,
The initial 1,500, is that what you wanted, the replacement to proceed with
Once the
The
finance?
initial is 3,000 for the startup costs.
So 3,000?
Yeah.
Did Diane want to do it, or
me?
did you want to make the motion, or?
Yeah, sure.
I thought you
So moved.
started, so go ahead. Well, I thought you started, so go ahead.
I move that we accept both packages for 13,000
Yearly.
yearly fee for the finance and human resources upgrade to replace our payroll and current finance system.
Are you happy with that motion?
Mm-hmm.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion's been made to approve the purchase and acquisition of the G-Works system for startup fees not to exceed $3,000 and yearly ongoing costs of $13,000 and change, and for $13,000 that'll be affected in the 2026 budget.
That was a little bit different from what I said, but yeah, it sounds right.
But look who's in the
better.
room.
Well, all I want to make sure is everyone understands that the
Yeah,
the
he'll-
additional $13,000 and whatever.
And
the-
$3,000.
Yeah, $13,000 is going into next year's budget, and $3,000 is coming out of either the trust fund or my IT budget to fund the startup costs.
And what happens if we get to budgets and we give them this line item that's double what it was last year, and they cut it, and now we've already ordered it?
Gotta figure it out.
You have to find the money.
Does budget get paid?
It's one of those
Budget people
things.
get paid? Do they get paid?
No, they don't get paid.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Don't like it,
Opposed?
but
Motion carries
If it outweighs the-
3-0-1 with myself abstaining for logical reasons. Okay. I wish we weren't up against the wall. It just drives me nuts when we get disappointed, but
That's how they get you, though.
I know.
That's why it irritates me as well.
All right, next up is the transfer from Property Expendable Trust Fund of $14,388. Ms. Kleiner?
So this $14,388 is already in for, money that we have paid, to Avatar for the revaluation. We need to transfer from the Property Expendable Trust, to replace what has been spent out of the general operating.
Okay.
Make a motion that we pay that, 14,388 to Avatar.
Motion made by Ms. Plansky. Do I have a second?
you know better.
All right, second.
Second by Ms. Queenan. Any discussion?
I've
That's
never been a
true.
fan of Avatar, and after this assessment, I'm a bigger non-fan, so.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it some more.
Yeah.
I forgot.
1.7
I think-
stars, huh? That was a good one.
Yeah,
I'm
I-
the yearly no, I'm the
I think
Yeah.
out of this event, and we've had Avatar for quite a long time, and I understand that if we change our system, it creates a lot of other turmoil within the office, because we have a system that we rely on that is Avatar owned, and you can't be that if you do that. It's crazy.
If it
And it's not,
makes-
it's the same everywhere. Whatever you use for assessing, usually you have the system you gotta deal with. But, I do think we need to go to RFP this year, and we need to start thinking about what else is out there, because, and we'll talk about more, I feel like transparency's not there. I feel like there's a lot of misinformation, not a good lot of conversations. I find it very hard that in a year where we have lots of people asking questions, it's very hard to get appointments. And we have a short window of time.
And they're
It's not as-
rude. They're rude to our,
Well, I think that's
Residents.
also a point of view. I don't think that's necessarily 100% true, but
right.
I don't know. I know they were here today for in-person ones, and I heard some of the conversations. It seemed that it was very cordial, very trying to help and educate, and I think it's a very difficult thing for people to understand. I don't fully understand it myself, so at the end of the day, it's one of those things that we have to do better to get the messaging out, and I think we need to find an assessing office that, one, we can understand they actually went, and there's records and different things that we can actually answer a lot of these questions too. So, we'll talk about it more, but anyway, so all right, so that motion, did I take the vote?
We
You
didn't
had a
vote
first
yet.
and
We have a
second.
first and a second, but
I started
This is
dialogue on it, that was it.
this is something we have to pay
Yeah.
because we're contracted to pay it. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
The law.
Yes.
Yeah, we engaged in a 5-year contract. This final payment was the final payment of the 5-year contract.
Want to hold it?
So, no, you can't.
All right.
It's already been paid to them. This is just paying back our operation,
Correct.
our
Okay.
operating budget.
By state
from
law,
that
you
trust
have
fund.
to assess every 5 years, or
Correct.
whatever that year
It's
is.
every 5 years, yeah.
State of New Hampshire
And it
makes
does
you do
not
that.
have to be 5 years to answer that question. You could do it in 2. If you feel the market is dropping, the board could
The
absolutely.
board could ask to have one done, yes.
But there's a cost to
Yeah.
that, but you can. And there have been municipalities who have reassessed sooner than 5 years because they felt the market was going the other way.
And the last reassessment was in 2019, so, so every 5 years, yeah. All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 3-1-0, Mr. Leary opposing.
I always do.
I know.
Okay.
All right, next up is transfer from Public Works Expendable Trust Fund for $50,096. Kleiner?
So this was approved by the board some time ago. This was the payment and the purchase of the Caterpillar for both the transfer station with the older unit going to the highway department. So again, we paid for that out of the operating budget. This is just transferring the money from the expendable trust fund to replace the operating.
So I make that motion that we move that money back into the operational budget from the expendable trust fund.
Okay, motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Yep.
Second by Mr. Leary. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries 4-0-0. And then, let's see. All right, next up is the cash receipt policy. I guess,
Request to table.
yeah, we're gonna make a request, I'm gonna make a motion that we table it for further discussion. Well, a motion to table, to a future date, not to be determined later. That's my motion, to table it.
I'll second.
Okay, second is for discussion. So, motion made by myself, seconded by Ms. Queenan. The reason why is one of the two key people were on vacation before this week, and they had not had time to review it, so we want to give them an opportunity to review it, make sure it still works for the way the process works, so we just could give them more time. So I'm sure we'll see this in,
I don't think you need a motion to table it. We can just table it.
we could just table it, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try to do it.
Okay.
It's up to you. If you want a motion, that's good.
No, we'll strike it then. No motion required. Tabled.
Will of the
Well, I'll
board.
make sure everybody wants to be the will. Well,
Because it's will of the board, yeah.
I would argue that even adding, so this is why I was checking this earlier, adding other business to the agenda, I thought it was the will of the board, not a motion required, so
No, that you
I
have
think you
to.
corrected me last meeting, so I needed a motion. I'm like, behavior-wise was always the will of the board, but okay, we're good with that. All right, well, next up is the municipal energy aggregation pricing, better known as community power.
No.
Oh, this is the town stuff,
This is
right?
the town one,
That's
yep.
kinda great.
So this is with NRPC, and we have done this, for a number of years since 2011. It is, Standard Power that works with NRPC, but this is, all of the towns within the NRPC region. We all go out for an RFP for our town energy. And we get a lower price because of the purchase power of us together. So they had not updated the numbers, but from 2012 to 2022, Litchfield had saved $81,000 because we went into this agreement. As everybody knows, probably by now, Eversource is having a 6.75% increase, which starts August 1st. We have been in contact, and NRPC and Standard Power have gone out for an RFP. I understand these contracts are coming in tomorrow, so this is very timely. We do expect that we will be able to be just below the Eversource rate by entering into the aggregation contract. So what we're looking at with Eversource is 11.2. We would probably, if it falls through what it did today, it would be around 10.9 that we would negotiate at. So these contracts generally are 2 to 3 years. To answer one of the questions that was asked of me earlier, if Community Power did take off, and we have an energy meeting on Thursday night, the town could not leave this contract. We would have to finish this contract before we went into a Community Power.
So what would the impact be for a normal bill of $100, say? What would the impact be to go to this other one to sign for like a penny less a kilowatt? How many kilowatts?
Well, it's
Well-
not locked is the other issue, right? Their price is not locked right now.
Correct. So it's not locked until I get the contracts tomorrow. Of course, we won't settle for anything higher than the 11.2.
But we're
you're
stuck in that
talking-
for 3 years, you said.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's just like you do any buying
But
program.
we have traditionally saved money taking this route because of the purchasing power of all of the communities combined. So,
It adds a stability to your budgeting too. You'd know what
It
you'd be
does.
paying for 3 years. But it is a risk, like Diane's saying, right?
yes, so, I mean, Eversource could lower their rate next year.
Like they did last
They
time.
did, yeah.
So this is all our town
Artificially
buildings.
low, and now you see
Just for the
Now it's coming back.
now it's coming back.
So we have a list on the right here,
But traditionally, for 10 years, we have,
Overall.
saved 82,000.
overall, we have saved.
So it's only our town buildings, the government buildings. We don't do the schools like other towns do.
Correct.
So I'm looking at the list over here on the right.
This is only the town facilities.
Yeah. I just wanted people in public to know it's not your house, it's the town buildings.
Right, because there was some uproar about, the town going all to a contract.
For community power, yes.
For community power,
community
yeah,
power.
for community power.
Yeah,
there
it's totally
was-
separate.
Mm.
The community power would not come in at less than this. Just would. And I think the community power, I think the town has been very smart, and they have stayed away from initiating the program until we see substantial savings, because it is a buyout. Like, you have to actually decline the program. So you wouldn't want to put residents through having to decline the program if there wasn't substantial savings. It wouldn't be worth it.
They wanted to handle it on their own from a lot of the impact that we got.
Yes, unfortunately, we don't write the law. The state legislature writes the law, so, I mean, the law.
It was a warrant article though, wasn't it?
Well, it's a warrant article to go, to, you had to start the program to get into the program.
Right.
You had a warrant to do that.
Okay, so we did do it.
Yep, the
Right,
voters
but
approved it.
so community power overall, the whole idea of community power is set by statute. And so that was approved by the legislature, not by the town, the rules around how a community power. And so that by the community power. Unfortunately, one of those rules has been that it has to be a drop out.
Right.
You have to have the whole community in and people have to drop out and that.
But the default was equivalent to the current rate for the most part.
Yes.
So you defaulted in, you were probably set at the current rate. Your opportunity to change would be to change your plan within that, and then, or drop totally out, which would take you out altogether.
Right.
The opt-out piece is the part that gets me too, that it's not.
That's what people didn't like.
Yeah,
Right,
and that, but
so
that's the
that's-
state statute that does.
Right.
It's a statute,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a good bid,
Okay.
but not most people.
Yes. And so,
So Kim, if we sign this, if we agree to this.
Yeah.
The rate would be 10 cents?
10.9.
that's what we were given for the sample. I will have the exact rate tomorrow.
Okay.
When the contractors. Energy's like that.
Well, I think the town is
You have a
definitely,
rate for about an hour.
Yeah.
That's how long you have it.
I mean, the town has benefited from the aggregation pricing in the past and has continued to. It's just a renewal we've already been doing. And then
Yes.
just locking in whatever the newest, lowest rate we can get. Because at the end of the day, we all know Eversource is going, they're already announcing they're gonna be raising 6% or so.
6.7.
Yeah, we moved away from that.
Yeah, we moved away. I moved away
I did
also
too.
and locked in at a
A
nice
few
rate,
years.
and now I'm getting a bigger bill because they're increasing the transport cost. So
Right.
they're getting their money one way or the other, unfortunately, but it's still it's still a savings overall.
Right.
So,
And if the board is acceptable to this, I would just ask that you have one person that I contact tomorrow with the price. Cause I have an hour.
Are you
I have
still
an
on it?
hour, I've gotta sign the agreement and get it back to NRPC.
It's
Yes,
Steve
John.
Gannon, but he's not here.
Chair?
But do you need me to go to that meeting? He said he couldn't go, but I don't know what you want to do.
Energy, yes, I asked.
Oh, yeah, you
Are
can,
you
you
going
can,
to that?
no, I'm not
Yes.
going, I won't be going. Well, I somehow got signed up to watch my two younger toddler grandchildren, so I have no idea what my condition will be at 5 to
All right,
7.
and I'll go
I
on,
think,
I will
I
go
think
on
Steve's
vacation the
not
next
here,
day.
so it should be Steve.
All right.
Well, Steve can't be here because he won't be.
Putting
Yeah,
on vacation
all
for
week.
this energy.
I know, all week.
So if you can attend the energy meeting for the community power piece, that would.
Am I getting a phone call about this NRPC, or am I getting a phone
No,
call
I-
about the other
which-
one?
What
No,
she's
this
asking,
is tomorrow morning sometime. I will get this contract and I will reach out to John
Right.
just to say what the price is and so if the board can approve a price up to
Right.
around this amount, then we can act because I have an hour to get it back.
what's
signed
the
and back.
up to? Are we talking
10
about
point
percent?
I don't know if I was getting
So
called for
up to
Steve
11,
Gannon. I didn't know what I
11
was getting
cents
called
be the
for.
max?
I thought it was her, right?
Whatever the board's
She
comfortable
always
with.
said-
Because I feel like it's gonna be,
Yep.
yeah, it's gonna be under 11, right? So,
She's got 10.9
I
today.
would say it's gonna be somewhere between 10.5 and 10.9.
Perfect, so 10.9 at the outside.
I don't know if I believe it, but they keep saying AI is gonna make your electric bill go up more with all the inquiry. I keep hearing it's got a pretty good
Oh, it,
environmental impact.
it does.
I'm just thinking 3 years out. I'm like, well, this is only 3, and I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just hearing that from many places, so.
Well,
So if you can lock in, maybe it's a good idea, I don't know.
so the average homeowner is not gonna experience an AI cost.
Mm-hmm.
But corporations that are buying in large bulk, they're gonna start seeing it constant, because it takes a lot of compute power to do it, so.
But I don't know if that raises everybody just
Oh, yeah,
because they have to offset it, you know.
Probably, yeah.
Again, I don't know what that percentage is, but I'm hearing that, but, yeah,
Okay,
it's not a scare tactic, I'm just saying I'm hearing.
So the number I heard everyone agreed to is 10.9, right? No higher than 10.9?
Yep.
So, someone make a motion to authorize Kim to negotiate and get approval from, I guess, myself, to confirm that we're okay at 10.9,
up to 10.9.
up to 10 cents, yeah. 10.9. So I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that Kim Kleiner will hear from NRPC, get a hold of John, and make sure does not go greater than 10.9.
Second,
Okay, motion made,
Is it 10.97?
it's,
0.9.
it's
10.9.
10.9.
Okay.
10.9. It's actually 10 cents,
Yeah.
10,
10.10.
yeah, it's 10 cents. I would almost call it 11 cents, but 10 cents, so. Okay,
All right, 10
10.9.
cents.
Yep, 10.9. That's the number.
10.9?
No, it's
Where?
10.9.
Where am I seeing it?
It's
I'm not
point-
seeing it on
It's
this
point,
thing.
it's .109 is the number.
Yeah, it's
Point zero,
just
it's-
below 11 cents.
Where is it on my portal?
To make it easy.
Is it on my
It's,
portal?
that's middle sheet. You're looking at it, look at it.
The blue thing.
.109 is what you're looking at. She's looking at the middle cost. 10 point.
Whatever,
Yeah,
I'll say
10.
10 point what? What do you want me to say?
One,
.109?
109.
.109 is
There
the
you go.
max cost.
0.109.
Matt, fill in that number.
Point,
I don't know
We
why
have a motion, we have a
0.09.
second, we clarified it.
There's lots of numbers here.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 400. I'll be on the road tomorrow, just call myself, and or you can also text me too, and I'll respond back to you that way if you want. Whatever's
Okay,
easier.
thank
Whatever's easier.
Thank you.
All right, next up, let's see. Well,
Those are the two tables?
yep, those are two table, and then, why don't we, well, let's do the reevaluation conversation where these two gentlemen are still here too. So as I said earlier, when, this was the other business we added, as I was saying earlier, when Paul was up speaking, you know, I have personally been following most of the social media feedback. Yes, I've talked to Paul. I've had several emails from other folks and inquiries through either private messaging on Facebook or whatever it was they gave to whatever happened. But like I said, I think we need to do an RFP. We need to go find something that, one, will give us better, easier access to the data we have on a more regular basis, so people can get to it at a reasonable cost. Today, you know, my view is this stuff should be online all the time, and people should be able to go see it anytime they want and see the exact data, not have to come into the office or go look at a stale card. I also have a problem with the fact that Avatar does everything sort of behind the scenes in the sense of updating our data, so our data is always sort of stagnant too. They do a bunch of inspections, and then 2 months later, they go and upload and update the system. So looking for something that would improve all those things to get that information more accurate. I know I looked at a couple of cards with you, and I'm looking at the cards going, I need an encyclopedia. I got a decoder ring to understand what's going on in this thing. And you get a inspection schedule, but it doesn't tell you when the inspection actually happened, but now understand what they interpret. It's like, that means it's on the list for that year, but you don't know when it actually occurred because it's not a live system, right? So I think folks have raised a lot of concerns around the data quality. And I always thought that, shame on me to think this way, but you had 5 years to inspect every house. You have to at least drive by and touch every house, and I don't even
they say
know.
they didn't.
The indication I get is that they have driven by and either visually inspected out from the outside, or they had some engagement to go inside. Like, I question when my inspection was, but they came to my house in 2022 when I had my septic replaced. They never entered my house. My evaluation went up too. Unlike some folks in town, I looked at my evaluation, and my evaluation is still well below the market rate. So I'm like, all right, I'm happy with that, I guess. But it increased in the same percentage that a lot of people did. It's not like it,
Right, it was like 60%, 59, 60.
I don't know, it's like, I thought it was like more like 45. What'd you say? Do you remember what it was across
No,
the
it is
board?
60.
Is it 60? Because mine is.
The overall town assessment has risen 60.
And so
That's
if your
not
house, if
individual.
everybody has increased 60,
No.
then what we should see, close,
There's always a
What we
third, there's a
should
third,
see-
third that will not, the
yeah.
third that will see it increase in their tax, and the other 2/3 will
So-
see some variation.
The overall town assessment, the town together,
the amount of money.
increased about 60,000, 60%. We know certain types of houses have increased 65 to 66%. That's when you start getting into whether their taxes go up. So if you're above the 60%, if your assessment rose above the 60%, you might have a small tax increase. If it's below the 60%, say your assessment only went up 50, you'll probably have a tax decrease. That's how it works. The tax rate will come down about 60%.
Because we're still gonna have that same $2 million that we've said that we're gonna spend. And it's just gonna kinda get,
Well, and so there's, like I was trying to explain to a resident the other day, we don't know. There's pieces of the tax equation that we just don't have yet. One is what we will get in meals and rooms. The other is what we'll get for, highway block. And then what we actually receive for cash, meaning interest and things on investments, that we will have to update the DRA on come September,
the DRA.
the New Hampshire Department of Revenue. So when we get that amount, those amounts, Karen and I actually sit with the DRA and we make some adjustments. If our cash has been lower than what we budgeted, that will actually increase the tax rate, right? Because you don't have as much revenue coming in. If we get more, it decreases. Like last year, we were very fortunate in the interest. And again, our hats off to our treasurer who made some very wise decisions. And we actually lost 3 cents on the tax rate because we had more revenue come in. Those are things we don't know now. We just can't. The other thing is, it's not just the revaluation that affects the total assessment of the town. It's also the additions that we have had from Corning Farms, from Rose Meadows, that's added more value to the town. So the overall equation has a larger denominator, right? So everyone's paying a little less because there are
It's
other
spread out more.
assessments,
Yeah.
more values to the town. So, we did put a, example out on the website that uses just some round numbers, but it's actually very accurate. If people want to take a stab at what their tax rate may be and how they may be impacted, taking out the revenue piece that we don't know yet in the meals and rooms.
I think that's a good point. The revenues will help, but I think Paul raised a good, when he was making his statement. The challenge the town has, and I go back to our state reps, and they should be doing a better, in my opinion, a better job to protect the towns, because more and more of the increases from a tax rate perspective, taking school side, we'll look at just town only, more and more of those cost increases, some of it's economy, and this is the cost of just doing the business in general, but the state had agreed to do certain things, and they've shifted more costs to the local government side. And that means we have to raise more taxes, which then impacts your property tax. And that's hurtful. I mean, the county budget's going up, and I don't even know what county still does. I have why am I paying a county budget, right? Meals and rooms tax, they're taking more money, and they're not giving us the same amount of money anymore. The cut's different because they're taking more money to the state side and some potential, right? Or just that they just haven't done a lot of business. I don't know what drives that 100%. But our highway block grant funds, which help us offset our highway maintenance, When they reduce that, now we gotta raise more money in taxes to continue paying, fixing our roads. Roads is a great example. We have a 10-year plan, 20-year plan to make sure the roads are constantly being cycled and being repaired so they're always drivable and in good shape. That costs money every year, and that cost keeps the cost of tires going up and labor's going up, and then when they take the highway block grant and they reduce that funding back to the town, we have to make it up somewhere. So, I heard someone said on social media, it's a money grab by the town. The town there's no benefit to the town to raise your taxes, right? We only collect what we need to appropriate based on the things you've already approved as residents for us to do, like any of the warrants and those things. Yes, the operating budget is the natural operating of the town at the levels we're at today, plus or minus the cost changes, right? I mean, the last couple of years, we've seen significant cost in just we're keeping the services that we currently have today, right?
I know public is over, but I feel like some of this should be addressed. May I approach?
Yeah, come on.
Sure.
Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
I'm certainly no expert. I've lived here for, been getting mail at my house since it was finished, which was September 2015. But I think
Your wife grew up here.
my wife did, that's true. That's very true. One of the things that I think surprised people the most was when they get this letter and they all of a sudden have a new assessment, and talking about the percentages that they're talking about, and having no thought whatsoever about moving, but knowing that this looming ledge is now up there. Once you put that in writing, it's very difficult to unsee it or to feel good about anything that goes along with that. So when you see that level of change, somewhere along the line, you feel like someone somewhere would be looking out for you and saying, "Psst, this could happen." Nobody, I think there's an active group of people that have no interest in moving. But when you're delivered a sandwich and you don't have any choice over it, you just want to feel like sometimes your voice matters. Now, there are certainly people that can up and move, but there's a large contingent of people that can't. And they're really under the gun.
Yeah.
There is a large portion of people in this town, and I'm sure we all know them, long-standing members of the community that put blood, sweat, and tears into growing this area or building something and I just feel bad for them. For everyone else, you can kind of wink and a nod and say, just the way it is, it's not our fault, it's the state. But somewhere in that 60% growth, someone somewhere should have said, hey, this could happen. But when you talk to an avatar or even, some of the people on social media, I really thought more people would come to this.
I did too.
But I will just say that you would like to know that people are in the boat rowing it with you instead of just, throwing concrete blocks at you. And no offense, but when we say we don't know everything that we need to know, there's things out front that we know. And those things shouldn't come as a surprise to even regular earners or people that don't have it. And so I'm just saying the to go from a $400,000 valuation to a $700,000 valuation, just using numbers out of the sky. When you see that, the first thing your thought is, well, gosh, should I just move? But then it's like this, where do you go and what do you do? You just want to feel like it's like you're getting something for what you're being charged with. And I think that there's a contingent of people that were upset with the drastic increase. And then what are we getting for it? And I think that those two questions,
Do you think
we
it's
can't
possible
answer.
that they think that their tax rate's gonna double
They
too?
They do.
I do, 'cause
I think that there are definite people, not everybody has the internet, not everybody is up on critical thinking, not everyone, operates, you know, in that level. They operate in the money in, money out.
Right,
I have this, I'm gonna have to pay that.
yeah.
What am
And
I gonna
that's
do?
not true.
And I think-
That's the part that's not true, that we've tried to get that information out frequently to the residents, and it's really hard, because like you said, you thought there'd be a lot of people here to listen to us tonight.
I thought there would be a lot
Yeah.
more people based on, you know, and that's the fallacy of social media, you know?
Right, I must have interacted with about 30-plus people.
Yeah.
And my
And I didn't
encouragement-
use social media to contact Selectman Brunel. I
Sent me
used
an
email.
old-fashioned email.
Yeah.
So that there was a record of it, because I felt like
Yeah.
that's the proper way to do it. You
Yeah.
know, if anyone, anywhere, at any time, you know,
Yeah.
an elected person's email is all that.
I would like to address one thing that you just said again, and I want to reiterate this. So we just don't know that comment, right? That's around the factors that can affect us at the setting time, right? We don't know what the total revenues are going to be, right? We have no idea what our revenues that we bring into the town itself, like a lot of our revenues in this town come from motor vehicle registrations. We don't know how many people are going to buy new cars this year or re-register their car. We really can't predict. We look at our 3-year cycle and we go, we think this is where it is. It's been trending up. We'll raise that estimate up. Sometimes we come in under and it's a big windfall in a sense of revenue, so it helps offset the overall taxes. So we don't have to raise as much the taxes. But this thing is like the funds that come from the state aids that we get, like it's a room and meals tax, or whether it's highway block grant, we don't know. The state reps don't tell us. We get a notice in the fall sometime, and here's the number, right? And that's what you got to factor into. You know?
I'd
think
like to
that-
add, though, that is the moving portion of our target.
That is the moving portion.
The very large stationary part of our target is what Avatar does. And then when someone comes to you and tells you all of a sudden that your house is now worth this, you don't know. How true is that? We don't.
Yeah, unless you've done a market assessment of your house, you don't know what your house is really worth. That's correct.
So
Go ahead, Kim.
this has been probably the largest frustration for me, is how to get information. Like, I can get information to the board because I see them every 2 weeks, but I can't get information to the public. And so I came last January, and I told them that we needed to be prepared for a revaluation that was going to be substantial, because our rate that had come in from the DRA only showed the market level of our houses being at about 62%. So at that point, we knew it was going to be large, and it got even worse from there. You're right. Residents need to know this information, and we're looking for any way possible to get that information out, because I think if people had known that in January, every January, February, we get a level from the DRA, and it's the same market data, the same sales that Avatar uses, because they get that information from the state.
Data aggregators.
Yeah, so if maybe that would have given residents a little bit of a heads up that, yes, our assessments were coming in very low, and we knew we were going to look at a substantial revaluation. The other thing we had a couple months ago was Avatar came, the DRA came, we had a meeting, a startup meeting, that's required
It was
for
a
you
public
to
meeting,
have
too.
that. It was public. They all talked about it, and they talked about our rates and what we are looking at. But not, I mean, residents, I get it. I never did either, and I still don't look at the meetings in my hometown, so I get it. People are busy. How do we get that information out to residents so that they know when to tune in, or, you know,
Yeah.
when an important, and that's what we've been struggling with. We've tried a town newsletter, we've tried the town Facebook page, a brand new website. We are trying.
Yeah, I'm, you know, I get lots of mail from all kinds of things. I think mail is the one thing. They do every door, the mail people do every single door.
So here's the rub on that one. It costs money.
Yeah, it does cost money.
That's the
But-
challenge. Yeah.
But
No, I agree.
everything that goes on
Yep.
costs money.
Yep.
What I'm saying is that, you can, somehow let people know there's a large harpoon coming your way. I think that there's people that, no matter what you do, and I know people like this, they don't use the internet, they don't have computers, they don't, they
Facebook.
didn't even know that their car wasn't registered anymore because they didn't get anything in the mail, and they're like, I don't know,
Yeah, that is a trend that's happening. A lot of things are coming across electronic and all that. And
I think it's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and that's all I'm saying. We exhaust ourselves, in the pursuit of public service.
Yep.
Whether we want to or not. Same thing as a townsperson. There's things that you're gonna get something served that you might not like, but that's the way it goes.
But I still think if they understand that doesn't mean their tax rate's gonna double. I think that's a little bit easier. But that's a harder concept too. It's like,
Sure.
yeah, but, so what we put into the town meeting that you went and voted on for the amount of money that's gonna be raised, that's still gonna be the amount of money that's gonna be raised.
Right.
It's just gonna be moved a little bit over the tax base. Some houses that haven't been properly evaluated, even though they were supposed to be done in 5 years, they're older houses, smaller houses, whatever. They haven't been, and they might get a 62%. Somebody who bought their house 3 years ago, and they came in at what those astronomical rates were through.
Sure.
So there's a little bit of that up and down, but your tax rate should not significantly change because the amount we're raising is still the same.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand and comprehend the whole denominator
Yeah.
portion of the discussion.
Right, we're not
I
getting
think-
any more money.
No, I'm not thinking that. What I'm saying is, from a very basic level, someone walks in that you don't know, that your town coordinated with, and now they tell you your house is worth this, when you're like, how?
Yeah.
If it's worth that, pay it.
Right.
I think there's, there is some level of data aggregating that goes on, even when someone says they're interviewing everybody.
Yes.
The significant
That's
thing
it.
that I think you said was, if everything drops, if the bottom falls out of the real estate market, and all of a sudden everybody's property levels
We'd
plunge,
have to go off. and-
are we going to go back and relook at it again?
I think they'll be,
Yeah.
feel bad for the guy that wants to build roads. Hey, everybody's got to pay.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it.
I'd like to say something. We just don't know the formula that they're using, right? They come up with some formula to figure out your house. It's probably a complicated algorithm, right? The public doesn't know what it
Actually,
is.
It's not,
And
as,
are they-
it's not as complicated as
Why can't
everyone
they
thinks
tell
it
them?
is. It,
Because if you go on Zillow, you can see the price of your house allegedly. I don't know what they're using, right?
right.
Right, that's Zillow's
Just
perception
inflation
of
causes
what, yeah.
problems.
Zillow's always less than the market.
That
Yeah.
uses an algorithm based on.
And I hate to say
And
the
it's
word,
just
we don't
crazy
have a
to try
state
and
tax,
find a
right?
state
So
market.
it's
You
where
know,
they're getting their
kids that can't
money,
get
it's
into
awful.
it.
If they implemented a state tax, I don't think this would go down either. They would just have both going probably, right? I can't
But
see
we'd
them,
have no,
I
we'd
can't see
have no
them
control
making
over
this
that
go down.
money.
So I just don't know if this is all about inflation. I don't know.
I think it's all about the
a
housing market.
calculation- It's all a calculation of actual sales.
Actual sales. Well,
It's
that's,
based on
Actual
market,
sales-
4%
well,
of
that's
market.
good.
Housing
It's
market has
grounded
gone
data.
insane.
But it can't just be actual sales, because then you come up with a per square foot, and then you have to take that per square foot, and if you apply it to every single domicile in the town, you know that amount of spent on per square foot isn't necessarily linear.
It's only, I
Right,
think the
but
market's
it's by
one thing.
house-
It's not-
type.
It's just a data aggregator, it's just AI.
Right, because the
That's all
square
it
foot in
is.
my house might be different value than the square foot in somebody else's house, you know?
Sure.
You've got
If it's
vinyl
falling,
flooring
The
and
house
you've
that
got,
sold
you know,
on Firefly,
I shouldn't mention names. Okay, any new house that's been built,
Right.
it's gonna be treated differently than,
And has been.
you know,
It is.
anyone who's lived in their
It's sales
house
of
for-
comparable
We all
property.
know people who have lived in their house for 50, 60, 70 generations, you know?
Yeah.
I think that,
I just, it's just alarming when you get that in the mail and you're
Oh,
like,
it is.
whoa!
It is, and I knew people were gonna see it and
So,
just
I take
absolutely
it
be
up enough time.
nauseous.
I appreciate your patience.
But we knew back in January.
That they were gonna be nauseous.
correct. I think I think the failure still is, we're not hitting the right people with that information.
I agreed.
And, Paul brings us, maybe we should start going back to mailers, but again, that's a cost that we have to add to the budget, which then affects the tax rate in that factor, because it's something we're actually
But
gonna
what
consume.
about the big
There's
things that we
the
send out
email.
for town meetings?
But
That we send that out and people get there and they don't know what that is either. I mean,
Well, that's the other
we
side of it
spend
too,
that
yeah.
Big amount of money and send it out, and we don't have a lot of guarantee that people are reading the mail either.
I think it was Paul that suggested maybe that the Board of Selectmen should spend time at the recycling center with a table and have people come up and talk to us about this stuff.
I would do
I
that.
love that.
I would totally do that.
Just chat with us, you know, but
Yeah.
you know, everyone needs to be civil, you know, that's the key. I don't,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm not suggest,
You take the temperature of the people in social media and you see how it fluctuates,
Yeah.
and nothing gets accomplished there.
Right.
You need to talk to people in a very, kind of deliberate, with respect. And that's how I approach this tonight, and I appreciate your time.
no,
were
we appreciate your
awesome.
feedback, and
Yeah.
I kinda did wish that of the 30-plus people that I spoke to, that one, I hope they called the town hall like I asked them to, but secondly, they should have come in and shared with them. Because I think we're only gonna hear about the experiences when people come here, right? Anecdotally, we hear what's going on in social media, but, that's what it is, but, all right. Any more on this topic? I think RFP definitely is needed. We gotta go figure that out, but,
Well, yeah, the town had, and I think you probably still have it, we had a pie chart that they put out, where your tax dollars go.
yeah, we still have that, yeah.
Right? 75% of your tax dollars that you pay in town go to state and local education. 25% is municipal, no,
County.
municipal and county. But 75% of it is what, it is strictly to education.
Yep.
So the people that say the town's getting rich, well, we're not getting rich.
No, to be honest, we're struggling. We see the
Town
car
is
problems we have,
struggling.
right?
If only.
We're on a default budget, we can't even afford to pay attention, you know?
Yep,
It's-
yeah.
And the budget that's substantially going up
Yeah.
this year is county.
Yeah, counties definitely.
And so
Those are the
that's
factors we
been
don't
in the
know, right,
news.
so.
It's
That
been an interesting year to come on as the selectman.
I'm sure.
It really has, with the default budget and knowing everything that the town needs. I mean, like you said, the police cars. It was like, wow, but we aren't getting our message across.
All right, well, thank you very much. If there's nothing else on this topic, I guess we'll move on to the next line.
So
agenda.
RFP, do we need a motion
Nope.
for a new effort? RFP?
No, we have to get through this, and then we have to come back and figure what an RFP is gonna look like, but we need to do that in this year.
We do like public input, though.
A lot,
We do like public input.
Thank you.
yeah.
Which should be more of it, to be honest. All right, next item is the reappointment of Michael Croto for the Lower River Management Advisory Committee.
Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Nice to meet you.
So Mike's, I think, if I recall correctly, Michael's term is up. He's asked to be reappointed, and I think the
3-year term?
committee, yeah, for another 3 years. So this will be a reappointment for Michael to continue serving on behalf of this town for another 3 years at the Lower River Management Committee.
So made. He's a good man.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Leary and seconded by Ms. Plansky. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 400. Thank you, Michael, for your continued support. So that was it on the agendas. Now we're into Board of Selectmen updates.
We have 2
Uh,
tabled things. Do we want to?
No, they weren't on the agenda. They were only on the portal for reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
yeah, we still have some outstanding policies that have been tabled and they'll continue to be tabled at this point. So next up is Town Administrator Report and then Selectmen Reports. So, Ms. Kleiner?
So as usual, the trustee of trust funds has sent over their June report, which is on your portal. for your review. It has been, reconciled with the finance department, and everything looks, great on that end. And our thanks to, John and Christine for a wonderful job. If we were thinking that that may be an item that we can add to the finance reports on the website. And so if there's no objections, we'll work on doing that. Just another piece of information that we can provide to our residents. Also, there is the July newsletter, which we have put out, and based on the conversation we just had, maybe we look at that. If we can get residents to sign up for that to be emailed, they will receive it when it is posted to the website, and that might be another way versus mail for people to get information, if we can work to get that out.
On that note, one thing I was thinking it through when Paul was talking, was maybe we can figure out if we can use the mass notification to do it too. Just to make people, like, just little snippets, like,
Yeah.
you know, obviously every year, all our meetings are always publicized, maybe we should take some highlights of the meetings and announce that specific thing, saying, we'll be having a public hearing on this topic versus the whole agenda, you know, the agenda goes out for people to
And people
subscribe
would
to
get it
that.
on
We
their
probably
phone.
should have
They'll
done
get it on their
that.
phones or text,
They should probably,
but they have to
we probably
register
should have
for it.
done that for the startup meeting of the revaluation, because then
That's what I'm
maybe
thinking
people-
too, right?
And I'm not a fan of the letter that went out. I'll just say that. I think that, that's some discussion that we need to have,
The results letter,
going forward.
the results letter.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of.
I think it was very confusing, for residents,
But I think that
and
when you
having
start,
been through that before, there's an easier way to do it.
yeah, a lot of the details that we're giving people, they don't really need to know them. They need to know how it's gonna affect them. And then if they wanna dig further, then we can give them more details. But basically, what people wanna know is, what was my tax rate, what is my tax rate, and how is it gonna affect my pocketbook going forward?
But
Can
you
I
can't-
afford to live in my house anymore? It's not where do I go, it's
can't
can I
determine
afford
that
to
going
live here
You
anymore?
can't, I can't tell them what the tax
Right,
rate
and that,
is.
and I understand that. And I understand that, but to explain how that amount that we're collecting, that we budgeted for, that people voted on, that number's not changing.
Well, that is on the website.
Yeah,
That is on the page.
That
yeah.
is on
Yeah.
the website.
yeah, that's
I
the
mean, I
thing.
think people need to go to the website or call us. Call us. I mean, both Karen and I have been through revaluations for years. Years. We have a
But
lot of knowledge.
in
of it.
no case, in absolutely no case, is the tax rate gonna double for these people. In no case.
No,
It didn't go up that much on the last reevaluation.
No, it didn't.
Everyone's
And
property
that would,
values
that
went
would have been
up,
a good example.
This
Is to get that example out to people and
A
say
lot of them went down.
that what the housing rate went up percentage-wise, we know it's about 60 to 62 now or overall, and it went up so much. And then it would be real numbers, this what's happening at the state, nobody cares. It's interesting, it's great to know, I mean, it's important for you to know, because you have to work on it. But they don't care about that, they care about what's gonna come out of their wallet.
but I think that's the challenge part of it, right? Because the state does affect what we have to raise.
It does, absolutely.
So that's a challenge, but it's an unknown up to a certain point. We know about, we typically know it by October, but that's always too late. This is the timing of this thing. But I also think people have been listening to a lot of dialogue around, well, the school's gonna go up here, and this is, so no matter, so they're
Inaccurate
equating the
information.
evaluation to, our taxes are gonna go up because all these factors are happening, and
But they are gonna go up because all these factors are happening, the schools and
I don't
everything
know,
else.
the school's giving back $1 million
Yeah,
back. That's
how's
gonna
that?
reduce our tax rate no matter what,
Yeah.
because that's going right back into the tax offset, so.
You haven't seen their budget yet either, though.
Well, that's, the voters now, the voters have a chance to vote the new budget in. But that's the other side of it, so, I mean, again, we have to do a better job at getting this information out. We've tried social media, we've tried, just, our meetings are all broadcast, but let's be honest, 100 people probably watch our meetings. And it's probably me watching it 7 times over, and that's why it's doubling up, but, we gotta do a better job, and I think we have some tools, we gotta figure out how to get people on them so we can,
that are
there's a public hearing regarding the
acceptable
tax rate. Come out, listen to what's going on so you get the information, one, firsthand, and to know what we're dealing with too, so.
Right.
But-
Agreed.
Okay, so what else? We're
So
mosquito
mos-
testing?
Mosquito testing, yes.
So
Talking
we
about
have a
bloodsucking.
company that we
Speaking of second blood, yeah.
contracted to do the mosquito testing.
Go lineman.
The good things is, so we're seeing increase in populations of mosquitoes due to the rain, humidity. But we have not seen any of the species that transmits Eastern equine
Good.
across the state. So that is good. I have put reports on the portal for anybody who wants to get into that amount of detail on what type of different species we have in Litchfield and all that. It's interesting if you're into that, but the good part is that we're not seeing anything of any concern. The informal hearings, I put this out because I understand that if there's any resident that has not gotten their questions answered, we will definitely work to do that. And so I met with Avatar today, and they are working through the list. They're calling people and they're meeting with people, and they're here again tomorrow. The one thing that I think is important for residents to know is we have a statutory deadline. We have to get the MS1, which is the total valuation of the town, to the state by September 1st. If we don't do that and we're late and I have to ask for extensions, we get pushed back in the queue for when our tax rate is set, right? They're set as they come in to the state. And I know last year we had a tax rate that went out late, and that really affected our residents, so I don't want to go down that road again.
Wasn't our fault.
It was not our fault, none of our
Put
fault.
that out there.
But, we heard it from residents, so I'd really like to make that September 1st date if we can. If we have to push it back because people haven't had their questions asked, so be it, but it will delay the tax rate, which will mean your November tax bill might not be out until the 1st of December, and I hate to do that to people. I was asked to put this on my report. I think I let the board know that I've been asked to join the ICMA Education Committee. So this is, the ICMA is a national group of all, town administrators, town managers,
This was
city
la-
managers.
This was last meeting too, right?
No.
No? Was there something else you were joining last meeting?
No?
No? Okay.
So, in my world, in my professional world, this is a big deal. And I think it gives us an opportunity to make sure that the education that's put out for municipal managers relates more to small towns and towns similar to ours, because sometimes that seems to be what's lacking. They just naturally go to the larger cities and counties, because across the country in some places it's counties. So I'm thrilled for the opportunity. It's only a 1-year term. The only thing that it really affects, because all this would be done on my own time, is in January for 3 days, I would need to be in Long Beach, California. I'm happy to take my vacation to go to that. But I think this is an opportunity to make sure that, you know, your administrators, your future administrators, future managers, have solid education, so. Again, that's the only thing that it really affects is next January, the 29th through the 31st. And I would spend my birthday
Congratulations.
working.
Congratulations, Kim.
Thank you. Budget. So,
I
we
think
have,
that, going back to the last one, I think that's more of a professional development. I don't know why you would have to use your vacation time for that. I think the town could pony up to 3 days. Just my opinion, but it is in the line of your work.
thank you.
I agree, but I agree, I just don't know when we do the discussion, because it's training. It's not, you're gonna be doing the training on some of it, but, but you're gonna help the region here. But anyway, we can have that discussion later, yeah.
We can make a motion.
No, we can make a motion.
We can make a
So
motion.
that's the reason why I asked her, this is why I asked her to put it in here. She was taking it on her own time, and I do think
I
it's
don't think she
development.
should. I think she should put it.
I think we can
through.
afford, she's picking up her own
Days.
travel to do her thing out there and everything else. I think we can
I think we
afford to
can
let
pay
her,
you.
not burn her time to
Agreed.
do it. I think it's a benefit to the town. She has committed to be back in time for deliberative.
Promise.
Snowstorm.
Let's
That's what I said, that's what I said, oh my God.
Remote in.
But,
No, I will be here.
so Bob, if you wanna make that as a motion, we can,
I'll make a motion that we grant town administrator 3 days to serve on the ICMA's conference committee in Long Beach, California, January 29th to the 31st, using town time and not personal vacation time.
I'll second. So motion's made and seconded, any discussion? I think it's a great opportunity for people to learn about Litchfield and also to kind of share
Can only help.
across the board. It only can help. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0-0.
Thank you.
Budget process.
Budget. So thank you, to the boards who have, already weighed in. Karen and I are working on this together to put together the budget. We have a, department head meeting, this Wednesday. And then I'm on vacation next week, so Karen will take in what comes in, while I'm on vacation. I come back on the 28th and we start meeting with department heads, Karen and I, to try to whittle it down, and go through it, before it comes to you. So, we are looking at the process. Part of that is looking at health insurance, because we know from information that we've already received that the reserves at Health Trust are low. That means larger increases. I believe, and many counterparts across the state are doing the same thing. We're all doing our due diligence. We're going out, we're looking at private options. We're looking at, can we combine here at the municipality to see if we can get lower rates? So for instance, we use Health Trust, the school uses school care. If we combined, we move from a small group to a large group. That's a different rate. Doesn't mean they would have to come to Health Trust. Maybe we go to school care. We don't know. We gotta look at the numbers. So, I have 2 private firms that are quoting us. And then I've asked the school if they are interested in modeling this. And then I'll bring it all back to the board so that you can make a decision on the best way for the town to go.
Good idea.
Understanding we want to keep health benefits somewhat consistent for our employees, because that's a big part That is always a concern if people start losing their benefits. So, but we're just doing our due diligence.
Just for clarification too, I know we were part of the school at one point and we broke away.
They were, yeah.
Right, so it's not unheard of us to be pulled together to kind of consolidate, if they can do it. And by the way, if it works on either side, right, I think it's our choice, but we just look at it that way. I think it's a good effort by both the school and the town to see what it looks like, just to see if there's any savings that we can achieve.
Right, and sometimes it can't be done, like, I'm not looking through the school's, employee contracts. So dependent upon what they have written into their contracts, they might not be able to move. I just know what we have in our union contract, and we reserve the right, the town reserves the right to move.
I think they have a contract coming up with the school this year for the teachers.
I believe so.
Is it teacher one?
Yeah, I think so.
But the town and the school has gone, we were with Interlocal at one point, then, the school came to Health Trust, we were both with Health Trust, the school went to school care, I mean, it's been all over the place, and that's because it's one of the most costly items.
Oh, yeah, every company,
Always
So-
shopping it.
always shopping it every year.
And COVID really did its number.
Oh, health and medical across the board is crazy. Okay.
Cool.
So I'm on vacation next week. I think I just said that. I will be checking emails. Karen and I will be talking. The Primex that I talked about last week, I did not mention, and I realized it after I spoke to our Primex consultant. We need to be doing facility inspections on recreation and conservation properties as well. That's something we noticed had been missing on the past few years, so I did reach out to recreation and conservation. I understand today that our Primex consultant has agreed to take recreation or a member or two of recreation through a few properties to show them what Primex looks for in these inspections. So I think that'll be a very worthwhile exercise. Our mission and our goal is to bring all of these facility assessments in a report to the board so that you know what safety items exist, what repair items might be needed, and all of that. So that we're looking for that report in January. Then, this is kind of CIP, submissions from departments and boards on the town must be submitted by August 4th. And CIP is really being strict with that so that they can keep on their timeline. And then the last item that we realized, again, we realized this from the P3 assessment, is we are in need of emergency evacuation plans for town hall and police and fire and highway. The transfer station has one, and it is posted at their facility. That is a requirement for a transfer station. Police, fire, highway, and management here, we're going to meet tomorrow and start putting together some examples of emergency evacuation plans, and then we'll bring it forth to the board for your approval.
Okay. Cool. Moving on. Selectmen reports. Mr. Leary.
All right, Rec, met a couple weeks ago. I attended virtually. The new gate is installed at Roy Memorial Park. It's got three-way lock on it for Litchfield Fire and Rescue, Rec Commission, and Litchfield Softball. And they've also started some groundwork around Dara Pond, cleaning it up, getting it ready for the fishing dock. And the grant funds have been received. And the 4th of July parade was a big hit, well attended. And Spirit of Litchfield did a great job organizing it. Thanks to Judy Brennan for sending me some notes. She's very good like that. That's about it.
Okay, Ms. Queenan?
All right, got a lot here, but we'll be brief. We'll do the easy one, the SIP, capital improvement. We did not meet in July as planned, and like Ms. Kleiner said, we'll be meeting August 4th. I'm not sure we're going to see all the town that night, maybe, but their reports will be ready, you said. All right, we are working aggressive on that timeline, so we don't, have non-public meetings and, budgets all colliding at the same time. Economic Development Committee, Kim Kleiner and I worked for 4 days on an initial draft. I'm working on it for one more day. I already talked to Jay Mankara. I reviewed everything that we have done to date for research. He will take it. He's going to have the report, the draft ready for our next meeting on July 30th, knowing that the groups are coming back with any zoning modifications they would like. Conservation will come with zoning. I think their board needs to see some examples, which is fine. We'll give them time to do that, but have him come in. Laura Gandia will come in with zoning changes. Jeremy and Jay Mankara will come for planning changes that they see, and Marion Colby will come in with anything from heritage, trying to keep the rural character of the town, kind of ordinance there. They're going to look at their bylaws, they're going to look at their policies. So really, we're in the recommendation phase at this point. So even though Jay has all of the backup data, how he came to these conclusions, we will know he's going to have to add these zoning changes in later after we all vote on those. As far as the other deliverable on the assisting the planning board with replacing their existing economic development chapter from 2002. Most of it will stay intact, but we'll put some, I don't want to say it now, but there's going to be some things happening with 3A. But, so we don't have to create that report. Jay and Jeremy will take it from the data that we give them. The outline of that report is pretty simple, and actually they just finished up their housing and population chapter, and those numbers will go right into this economic development chapter. They have to go in there to support it. So Jay Mankara will be working on that. So we can wrap that up. All right, NRPC, we met on June 18th. Usual tip amendments, all of that for travel. There is some activity going on. A report will be generated in August. It's non-public at this point, but I will bring it to you in August. Next full commissioner meeting, September 17th, but I will go to the executive meetings once a month. I go August 20th. The NRPC 501c is the nonprofit part of the National Regional Planning Commission. So we usually get money from the feds and state. This nonprofit allows people to donate privately who don't want to do that. There's over 2 or 3 million, almost 2.5 million in that account right now, so we'll start looking at grants for the region there. We meet, no meeting in July, we'll meet August for that. The last meeting, I promised you some notes from the meeting from the state on PFAS. So I will give you this so you have the handout. Okay. The meeting is called the Commission on Environmental and Public Health Impacts of Perfluorinated and Polyfluorinated Chemicals. It's RSA 126-A79A. Legislative body made this mandatory with the St. Cobain issue. We did meet Friday. They did go over where they are with DES and also the health research that they're doing with the doctors. So I asked for the minutes of these meetings, just 30 to 50 pages. That's the minutes. Okay, that's not even the actual meeting is so big. So I had promised this group to get the minutes so we could post them into our portal. So I reached out to the gentleman who runs it. He did send me 4 months for 2025, I think up till May, maybe give me 5 months. When I opened them up, they said 2024. So, well, I'll give you those, but I will go back and make sure he gives me the right years. So we want that information out for the public to be able to see what's going on. with that site, engineering-wise, that it's been taken down. What tests they're doing in the area, and then also any of the medical testing that they're doing as well. I think that is it. I need to talk about energy. I'm not sure if I'm going or not. I think I said you were, but I just need to know what details of that are and date and time. But we can talk about that later, okay? All right. Thank you.
Plansky?
Oh.
Something up to it?
No, I'm gonna give this to Matt so he can kind of figure out what I was talking about. Sorry.
I attended Conservation's meeting on July 10th. It's a very lively, very dedicated, very busy group. They did bring up the things that they needed to do for your,
Good.
yeah, yep, for the Economic Development Survey Committee. So they talked about that at length, and he's gonna be coming with their comments to your meeting. Moores Falls was cleaned up this weekend, extensive trail maintenance and cutting, extension. They installed a pump irrigation into the newly relocated, thanks to Kevin Brown, old shed that was behind, that has been repurposed. They also looked at different paint schemes that they may use on it to try and revive it. And I actually just saw some information that pump had failed. They have solar panels on the roof, and one of the solar panels failed. Litchfield and solar panels failing doesn't sound unusual, but they're still working on that. They've taken it home. The Darapon milfoil should be being done the end of July, which is very exciting. George has worked really hard on getting that company to come forward and try to commit to a date. The DeRocha property is really legitimately almost all set. We'll probably be closing on that in July. And we need the agreement in place for the farmers. Kim and I talked about that says that they're responsible for what they do on the land and that their insurance covers them and the whole bit with that. We had Aidan McCarthy started as a new member. It's really fun to sit in their meeting and listen to how excited they all get about everything that they do. They do a great job, thanks to Commission. And then I'll be sitting in on the Heritage Commission meeting that's going to turn in the 250th celebration. And Conservation also actually put 2 people on that board from Conservation, so I'm hoping the other boards come up with people as well.
Okay, is that it?
And that's it.
Great. I guess I'll be last. FIC, or School Facilities Improvement Committee, they met last week. They reviewed the RFPs that they received. They received 7 from all the typical candidates, and they chose 4 that sent to the board, the school board. I did not hear the school board's meeting, so I don't know what happened to that deliberative, but there's some interviews that are going to happen as a follow-up, so more to come on that. The discussion was very lively. If you didn't watch it, you can still go watch it and see what happened. Budget committee met last, typically nothing really transpired there. It was a short meeting. The chair was out. It was basically just a bunch of typical business, but they're excited about getting to the budget because that's when all the fun starts for them. So, not sure I'm excited about it yet, but we'll get there.
My first year, I'm not excited.
And there was no emergency management meeting this month so far, and that's it for myself.
May I add one more thing? I'm sorry. Is it all right if I add one more thing? The reason the PFS, that PFOA report is not up there, because it's a statutory commission, they have to give the minutes to the state, and working with their group is having the problem. So they're going to try to post it to DES as well.
Okay.
But, so it's going to, yeah. Sorry about that.
That makes sense.
That's why it's just hard tracking them down. Thank you.
All right, so that sort of somewhat concludes our business meeting. We do have a short, brief, non-public to go into. So I would like to make a motion that we go into non-public under RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, Section C, matters which if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation. I swear you're missing a word here. Adversely the reputation of any person or other than the member of this board, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exception shall extended to include any application or for assistance, a tax payment or waiver, or a fee or fine or levy if based on the inability to pay or poverty of application. This doesn't make
Or
sense.
poverty of applicant.
Yeah, but this is not the reason why we're going in non-public, I thought.
That's not what I have. I have a different one.
It's the portal, the reason why that's what's on the bottom of the portable.
91A3.
First time I read from the bottom of the portable and not look at my own
Yeah.
notes.
I'll have you take a
I'm
picture
sorry,
of this,
is it-
because I keep it for my records.
I have it on
Sure.
the
Okay, if I have you take a picture?
agenda.
Yeah, I'll read it now.
Before we.
Sorry.
Stand to the
No.
clerk. Sorry, folks, we're going into non-public. I'm making a motion that we go into non-public for RSA 91A:3, section, Roman numeral 2, section E. That's why it made no sense to me. I feel it didn't work.
Sorry.
Consideration or negotiation of pending claims or litigation which has been threatened in writing or filed by or against the board, against this board or any subdivision thereof, or by or against any member thereof because of his or her membership therein, until the claim or litigation has been fully adjudicated or otherwise settled.
That's correct.
Okey-dokey, here we
Do
are.
I have a second?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
Bob
Kim.
did. No, read
No,
it.
you beat me.
Ms. Queenan, seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nope, so let's see, 400. So that'll be it this evening's, to the board,
8:35.
yeah, we're going into non-public, it started at 8:35. We will only be coming out of non-public to adjourn our meeting. I wish Litchfield a good night, and have a good rest of the evening.